The federal government lost a lawsuit to the Hobby Distillers Association and have still not responded. This is the case where a federal judge ruled that 150-year-old laws preventing people from distilling at home are unconstitutional. I have some big updates on this, so even if you watched our last video, you're going to want to watch this one as well, because I'm going to go into more detail with the most up-to-date information we have. By the way, I'm Kyle with Clawhammer Supply. I just happened to be in Washington, D.C. when some of this happened. I am not a member of the individuals who had sued the federal government, but I've been watching the Hobby Distillers Association for a long time. I've been a member for a long time. This is a topic that I feel qualified to speak on because I own a company that sells distillation equipment. And I've been in personal contact with Rick from the HDA, who's given me some more insight on what this all means and how it might all play out. And I'm on the mall right now. This is the Capitol building behind me. Washington, D.C. is a little hot right now, but it's been absolutely beautiful, and I'm here with my family. We've had a ton of fun. Anyway, so first of all, here's some of the new information. This ruling doesn't apply to everyone. It only applies to members of the Hobby Distillers Association, or the HDA for short. If you're just a random person on the street who's never heard of the HDA, you're not a member, this only applies to members of the Hobby Distillers Association. Now, why isn't every person in the United States covered? Well, I am not a lawyer and I really don't know. If you're familiar with this stuff, comment below. What I do know is that the ultimate goal of the HDA is that distilling is legalized for everyone. The particulars of who this does and does not apply to right now is just a function of how the law and legal challenges like this work. But long term, what they are hoping is that home distilling will be legal for everyone. Second, what the ruling actually means isn't as cut and dry as I initially thought it was. My initial understanding was that the HDA was arguing that these laws make no sense as a whole, as they're written, and they should just be nullified completely, and that the judge agreed. But that is not the case. That's incorrect. What this ruling actually means is that individuals can apply now, in theory, for a permit just like commercial distilleries can, and the individuals can't be refused. So this is actually very important because at its heart, the functional reason that home distilling is illegal is actually because federal law prevents someone from specifically getting a permit to put a still in a house or a garage or a shed or on personal property of some sort. As the rules are written, essentially the equipment has to be located in a commercial or an industrial space. So really this is more of a case where now members of the HDA are going to be treated more like very small scale commercial distillers. In theory, the members can now apply for a permit to locate a distillery in their home, and once they get the permit, there'll be a commercial, a very small commercial distillery that's operating in the home. They can distill at home, but they won't be able to sell or distribute anything without having proper state and local licensing. They will be able to legally produce spirits in their home, also provided that they pay federal excise tax for everything they produce, which is $2.80 per 750 milliliters of 100 approved spirits. Rick at the HDA cautioned me from getting into too much detail on what this actually means legally, and I'm going to take his advice. Since I'm not a lawyer, I'm going to stop here because it's all just speculation, especially coming from me at this point. However, what I can say for sure is that this is a very big deal. Nobody has ever made it this far in any way, shape, or form in an effort to legalize the act of home distillation. And I've been following this for more than 10 years now. So the HDA has really knocked it out of the park on this one, but more legal challenges are going to need to happen before an individual is able to get a permit in the way that I've described here. And even when that day comes, where this has all been flushed out at the federal level, as I mentioned in the last video, even if a federal law permits an individual to distill at home, states can and often still do prevent it. I'm going to let this ambulance go by. In other words, if you live in North Carolina like me, you still can't own and operate your own distiller to make your own spirits because state law prohibits this, and state law actually takes precedence over federal law in this case. In general, where state and federal law differ, the more stringent law always takes precedence. However, it really depends on who's knocking at your door, because state officials are most likely going to be enforcing state law and federal officials will be there to enforce federal law. And the federal government also still has until September 9th to make an official appeal to the court's decision, which they still may do. If you support what Rick and the Hobby Distillers and the other plaintiffs of this case are trying to do, which is to legalize distillation of high-proof alcohol at home, I would encourage you to pony up and join the HDA so they have some actual funds to keep the ball rolling. And Rick isn't footing the bill on this all by himself, which he has been doing for a long time. I will leave a link to their site in the description. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.